Hello, Steve RC9. Well, we've got a little bit of He-Man news. There apparently is another character that's going to appear in the movie that we didn't know about before. Supposedly, Beastman has been spotted on set in London. Now, by that, we mean in London on set, there's been a guy running around in a motion capture suit with stilts on his arms, basically running around like a monkey or an ape or something. And the assumption is that that's Beastman. I'm like, I don't recall him running around on fours and dragging his knuckles like an ape. I seem to recall he was just a very red man, more like a wolf, like a wolfman sort of creature. That's more how I always thought of him. So I don't know. But apparently that's what people think. So we've definitely seen the guy in the motion capture suit. There's definitely a CGI creature in the film, but is it him or is it some sort of monster, from Skeletor's, leagues of henchmen that we haven't seen yet, like Sarod or the other one. So that's interesting, but it's funny though because I keep forgetting that they're filming in London. Now it's actually set in Oklahoma, and I'm like, really, Oklahoma? That's like the widest, like middle American, make America white again, MAGA states. Like, really, they're going to send? I guess it makes sense to send this perfect blonde white specimen there. But that's a bit of a worry story-wise. But the other thing, I mean, the reality is, this is what this movie's going to be. I pretty much know this. There's going to be a battle at the start. They're just going to bookend the film. There's going to be a little battle at the start. He-Man's going to be sent to Earth to be hidden. He's going to grow up and live on Earth. They're going to have lots of out of fish out of water stuff there. And then Skeletor goes to Earth to track him down. And he defeats Skeletor and goes back to Eternia and then rules on Eternia. And we have like an end scene with all the He-Men there in full costume, because we're only going to see them in one scene because it's too expensive to have them throughout the film. So we're just going to get we're going to get like bookended scenes like the original He-Man, and then a couple of, creatures on Earth. It's just a repeat of the 87 film, basically, but worse, because we're going to have less time on Eternia, because they spent a lot of time actually in Castle Grayskull in the 87 film. We're going to get less of that. So, yeah, it's just not going to be good. But the other thing I found funny was, now we've all seen the pictures of Timu Tila and how bad it looks. She looks like someone stole, like, Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow costume from the Black Widow film, the white costume with the gun holster and that, and they've just sewn on some cheap like gold fabric to sort of cosplay Teela. It's lame, and I found it funny that Robert Meyer Burnett and John Campea were on John Campea's show saying how they saw behind the scenes footage and they saw conceptual artwork, and they were going on about how much the characters look like the cartoons. And I thought, oh, this could actually be good. Maybe I'm wrong. And then we see Teela and realised that was just a lie. And I thought, now how are they going to deal with this now that everyone's seen it? And obviously they were lying and shilling. And then they went on and they continued to say how much she looks like Teela, and then pointed out that they saw concept art, not any actual images or frames, film of the actual actors in costume. So like, okay, that's their out. We saw concept art and it looked like the characters, but they still acted like Teela, looked like Teela, and they were doing the whole, well, she can't have, the chest plate armor, and she can't like have no pants because it's like, degrading to women or something. I'm like, I'm sorry, have you seen a Taylor Swift concert or a Madonna concert or a Sabrina Carpenter concert? All these women who are strong women, boss bitches, what do they wear when they want to look hot? No pants. They got their legs out, bare legs, looking hot and sexy in their little leotards and shit. That is a thing, okay? There's no reason why they can't do that. And if they're not going to do that, all they have to do is put tights or pants on the girls. The rest of the armour is basically the same because they need armour. They are fighting people with swords. Do you think those little strips of, gold material sewn on are going to, like, protect Teela from a sword to the chest? No, she needs her chest plate. She needs the armour. It's just stupid. They're pulling the fantasy out of this and making this just another superhero film, and they're all just superheroes, basically. And that's the way they're playing this, because obviously someone has in research or whatever said, no, people don't like fantasy, like they can't handle fantasy, it's too much, we need to make it relatable. Superheroes are relatable, so just dress them like superheroes, just have them in leather or heavy duty material, jumpsuits, and that's the look. That's what they're going for, and I'm like, it makes me sick. Now, the only way this could be salvaged is if they're heading to Earth to save, Prince Adam from Skeletor, and they do like some research, and they go, oh my God, look how these people dress. We can't dress in our Eternian, culturally appropriate traditional costumes. We have to dress like these people, and they make the costumes, and they go down looking more like superheroes, which could be a kind of joke in the movie, like they dress like that's normal, and then they realize that's not how they dress on Earth, so they change, so when they go down there they're less obvious and stuff. Now that could be played well, that could work, but anything other than that is just going to be a travesty and take the fantasy right out of this film, which should be science fiction fantasy like the original was. That's what He-Man is, but we'll see.